Osamoa Ernest Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omorige Igbenedion, Agbon Steve Igbenedion, as well as the Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ugbeide Nwonse.
The 13th day of the month of January 2026. How far the year have started running swiftly and briefly. Before you know, it's going to be half of the month already for the year 2025. 2026, I don't know. We have to get away with the 2025 thing. Welcome to your Ultimate Current Affairs program. It is this morning on ITV TMI. I am Lawrence Osifo in our Benin Network Center, not alone in the studio in Benin this morning. Someone who went, should we call it a trip, to the US, to the UK, to the city, to see the, okay, the Queen is dead, to see the King. She is back. Anu Akbo is live for me in the studio. Anu.
Hello.
When I saw you this morning when I walked in,
Yeah.
I decided to say anything. Let's say everything here.
Really? That's like even out of it. Good morning.
How are you?
Here? I am blessed. I'm great.
Good to see you.
Good to see you
For the
too.
past months. Yeah, months. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
How was your recess? your holiday, your enjoyment, put all of them together.
Well, it was really, really great. It was a mix of both, but I'm grateful to God
Absolutely.
for being alive,
Yeah.
and being here today. So yes, all thanks to God.
Indeed, all thanks to God, and you're shining. The glory of the Lord is covering you. You know that's what it says in the scriptures.
Right, thank you.
Okay, so here in Benin, the both of us will be piloting the affairs on the show this morning on TMI, while we'll be talking to our colleagues in Lagos and in Abuja, who will also be giving us a feel of what they have over there, telling us what we'll be hearing from them. Because over here, a lot happened during the weekend, Friday, Saturday. The kidnap that happened in Ekboma, which led to the death of the person that was kidnapped, and there was a protest on Saturday. It was more like a violent protest. So our attention will actually be looking at that protest. Do citizens have the right to protest? Yes, they do. But should it be a violent protest? Because I think it's high time we know that the difference between a protest and a riot. So a riot and a protest are not the same thing. So when your protest is hijacked, when people hijack your protest, what do you really do? So we'll be having people who will be joining us to unpack, to look into the situation that happened in Ekboma. But before we talk to our colleague, I'm pretty sure you're privy with that whole situation. We saw the protest, which now degenerated into something violent. They even went to the palace of the Onoji of Ekboma. They destroyed a law. They went to where people who are doing their business, in quote, they call them those from the north. They carted away. I saw the videos. I was so troubled. Carted away rams, goats, and all that. Should protest actually get to that stage of you cutting away businesses of people, their sources of livelihood?
Well, it shouldn't, but honestly, I don't think it's just the peaceful protesters who are involved or who are the main culprits in all of this, because from what I gathered, it was hijacked by hoodlums, and that was why we saw all of the burning down of things, disruptions of livelihood and all of that, but it shouldn't have gotten to that point. But let's take it back to why the protest even
exactly
started
at first.
in the first
Let's
place,
start from the
because
beginning.
no sane person would just go out and protest.
Yeah.
So we did hear that kidnapping insecurity has been going on for a while now, especially with the Edo Central vicinity
axis.
here in Edo State. And of course, students, let's also not forget that students have their own school there, that's the AAU, and it has also affected them. Every single time we hear cases of persons being kidnapped, students being killed, and it was actually becoming rampant. Of course, students had to fear for their lives. So the persons living in that area thought it needful to go out to have their voices being heard and call out on the Edo State governor to do the needful, the government to do the needful regarding the security situation in the country and in that particular place. So yesterday, the SSA on media was in a sister station, and then he did state that it's a normal, it's a global thing. It's not something that is just peculiar with here in Edo State. And he said that it's something that has been going on for a while in the country, with persons coming into that particular axis in the state and settling down. We're hearing cases of people trying to grab lands, herdsmen, allegations left, right, center. And of course, it actually sparked the outward we saw last Saturday. It will also be shocking to know that even after the protest was done on Saturday, the next day we're hearing cases of kidnapping, and yesterday we're also hearing cases of kidnapping and killings, especially of the leaders of tomorrow, I would say. And of course, it's something that should be talked about and should be called on. And we're here that over 50 persons have been arraigned and remanded. They've been remanded already at Ubiaja Correctional Center, and this is truly alarming. Yes.
Really, really alarming, because we're trying to still get out of the one that happened in Auchi when the two doctors guys were kidnapped. One was also killed in the process, while the other one, 200 million, they say. They are trying to crowdfund, people are trying to raise funds for them to, release that guy before this ugly incident again happened on Friday. They said the guy was kidnapped around 8 p.m. on Friday evening. By as at 10:11, there was already the news that he's been killed. So the people had to go out to protest. Like you said, you have your right to protest, but when it degenerates into something violent, probably a riot, or it has been hijacked, because we always have this issue of hijacking of protest. The question is, who hijacks protest?
That's
Probably when my guests come,
course,
they will
that's a
throw
big
light
question.
into, yeah, they
Yes,
will
it is.
throw light into
That's
that.
a big question. But let's not also forget, all of this is happening, I would say, close to the governor's constituency.
It's not close. He's from Edo Central. in his
Right,
constituency.
Ira,
Ubiaja,
Ubiaja,
Ekpomau,
what's the other?
Uromi,
Uromi. So I
you know.
mean, all hands needs to be on deck at this point to
Yeah.
see to it that the issue of insecurity of kidnapping ends in Edo State and in that part of the country. Because just recently, the federal government did state that any kidnapper in Nigeria has been tagged as
terrorist.
a terrorist.
Yeah.
So you are a terrorist, and all of the
Absolutely.
terrorists needs to be flushed out from Edo State.
Okay, let's speak with Abuja and Lagos. They are pretty on a standby. Let's hear from our Abuja colleague, the Center of Unity. Charity Tanko, I guess, is there, or someone else? Okay, we'll go to Lagos. Let's speak with our, Dominic AMSA in Abuja. How are you, Dominic? And Wilson Omasho in Lagos. How are you doing?
Well, a very good morning to you, Andrew, and I want to say welcome to Anu. It's been a while seeing her on screen. I'm happy to have you back on the program this morning on ITV. Of course, Abuja is quite cozy this morning. For those who understand the weather down here in the north, you know that we are in the Harmattan season, and definitely if you're leaving your house this morning, you have to equip yourself, especially those who have issues with cold. I quite sympathize with the situation in Benin, even though it's, in Edo State, even though insecurity is everywhere. We saw that clip yesterday when those protesters were being taken inside one of the vans, or the prison van that we normally call Black Maria, taking them to remand. It's quite pathetic. You know, when you talk about protests, there are procedures and guidelines for you to stage protests. I wanted to ask you guys if these persons actually got the police approvals, or did they had any kind of protection before you go about protesting, so that you don't have hoodlums like what we've seen now. It's like the protest was hijacked. Every protest is assumed to be peaceful until when it's been hijacked by hoodlums, as you guys rightly mentioned. But we just hope that the security architectures everywhere will be threatened. Kidnapping is not just in Edo State. It's here right here in Abuja. We are battling with the One Chance case. If you remember, we talked about the two guys who were kidnapped, and one was killed later. The doctor issue. We had a similar incident here in Abuja where a nurse was killed by One Chance robbers here in the FCT. Even a lawyer also. It has sparked so much debate from different angles. What is the police doing? Even the army have been drawn to internal security, which is not their original function. They are not supposed to be in internal security issue, but that is where the country has pushed us to. We just hope that the government will to ensure that we have these issues tackled. But from Abuja this morning will be other issues. Politics, the election, that council just the are in how to see how to get Nigerians, especially those who are residents in the FCT, to come out en masse and vote. If you look at the scenario in the past, you discover that one election that most people do not pay attention is the area council election. Most persons see it as election for the indigents, as those who are original inhabitants of the FCT. But if you live in the FCT, you are a resident of the FCT, you have a part to participate in the election. So we'll be looking at that, see how to dissuade people from staying in their houses, let them come out and vote, even though the space of development in the FCT is done by the FCT administration. You've seen what Wiki has been doing. So nothing of development is coming from the area council chairmen themselves, but we're going to be holding them accountable this time through our programs to ensure that Nigerians come out and look, let's get this thing right. Governments start from the grassroots, and that's what we'll be looking at this morning, Andrew, from Abuja Center.
Thank you very much, Dominic AMSC, for giving us updates in Abuja. Let's switch to the Center of Excellence, where we have Wilson Omasho standing by. Hello, Wilson, and good to see you in the Center of Excellence. I hope you are excellent over there.
You've got to be kidding me, Lawrence. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everyone watching. Well, I'm not alone in the studio. I have Patricia Gibbons. Patricia, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Wilson. Honestly, I'm so privileged to have you in the studio here in Lagos. And I'm sure Lawrence is, being jealous about all this.
Oh, my situation right now in Ekbom, I get to see about 57 persons just taken to, could use what remanded in prison because of XYZ that transpired in course of a peaceful protest that was hijacked, and some persons were affected, goods destroyed, wanton destruction of properties. I mean, it's like quite alarming. But the police coming up 3 a.m., early hours of the morning, to pick on those students. What can you say about that?
Well, for me, it is wrong to just walk into their dormitory by 3 a.m. to pick them up. Yeah. How is the police sure they were the one that, protested or disrupted, the society as at that time? And then, do we have the right to protest when things are not going right in a nation? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. But we shouldn't turn it into, stealing, destruction,
vandalism, and the rest of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, it's also not right for the police to go pick up those students, because we're not so sure if they were the one that did all that.
I could see one crying, "Mom, I'm not among them. I was XYZ. I wasn't there. But still, the Black Maria just zoomed up. I was like, come on, what is really going on?
It's heartbroken. It is heartbroken. As a parent, you begin to wonder, your children are not even safe in school. I mean, exactly, because he could not have been there.
Yeah.
And then you're picking him up.
The way we're just crying, no, I wasn't there, but still, the plea fell on deaf ears. Well, Lagos Studio be, in that particularly asks questions about what is really going on. But lately, we heard the governor, Senator Mondo Pawulo, talking about the deployment of helicopters, deployment of high-tech equipment to really go into the forest. 3 days alarm, so to speak of this terrorist. After all, from what the new law says, if you're a kidnapper, you've been branded a terrorist already. So let's get to see how far that will really, safeguard the ASA Central citizens. But still, in Edo South, even in Edo North, they have similar issues. But it's like that of Edo Central seems to be in another level. Okay,
Wilson, let me ask you a question. I mean, you just came in from Benin.
Sure.
What exactly do you think is a problem? Because it's alarming now. We have a series of kidnapping in Edo State. Did they move from north to the north, from the north to the Edo State, or it's been happening without us knowing?
Well, some security agents were trying to map it out, saying that you have a very strong Amotekun in the southwest. That is from the Kitty, the Ondo, you just name it, the really mounted guard. So the only place for them to fall back to is Edo State, because Edo State shares a common boundary with Ondo State. Yeah. So maybe that might just be the reason. But if you take a look at a particular clip, you get to realize that it is not the usual Fulanese quote that did that kidnapping. The way they were coordinated, the way they were talking, the way they were just carrying out that dastardly act, you get to realize that this is not the usual kidnappers that we used to know. I mean, if it's ascribed to a particular tribe, you get to see the way they act, the way they talk, the way they coordinate themselves. But this time around, I don't think it's from that particular extraction. Something really is up. Maybe, just maybe, some of the persons in that community are involved in this kidnapping. Because according to them, allegedly, they said kidnapping seems to be very, very lucrative. Anyway, let's leave that for the Benin Center to deliberate on. Well, soldiers' deployment for internal security, weakening police, says Buratai. They're saying that you seeing soldiers coming in to aid the police, trying to forestall law and order, is weakening the police and other security agents in doing their job. Now, what do you feel about the comment that Buratai? Because that is what we're going to be dwelling on from the Lagos Network Center.
For me, I think Buratai is right. Yes, the soldiers are not supposed to be seen in the community, except it is, in quotes, very important. Wow. So it looks like they're dragging off, the security intervention from the police, and it's weakening the police force. So the police force are just saying on the streets, allegedly collecting money.
Allegedly. I like that word, allegedly. But come on, they are saying that the firepower of these terrorists is too much for the police to handle. Hence, the military need to come in to at least create a balance. That is not about taking the power from the police, but they are there to do the job. But I like saying that ought to be the work
of the Nigerian police. Yes, they should start it. And when the soldiers find out that it is difficult for the police alone to handle, they come in. That's how it's supposed to be.
All right. Anyway, our guest definitely
come to us with it.
Lawrence, I think this is what we have. The Center of Excellence. Yes, Lagos Network Center.
All right. We'll say you're looking excellent, like I said, in the Center of Excellence. Well, probably you don't want to agree to that. Patricia is taking good care of you. I can see good care of you by feeding you and giving you good food to eat. Patricia, please give it up. I have something for you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I am my co-anchor here. I know Oluwapo Stevens. You heard them talked about the whole coordinated, because I was going there. You know, there's what they say in law, that in the scene of a crime, everybody is a suspect. So once a crime happens now, as we're here, you are a suspect, I am a suspect. That's what the law says. Right. So you have to now pass through the channels to now prove beyond every reasonable doubt with all cumulative or substantial evidence that you don't have a hand in it. So I'm pretty sure those guys that were arraigned or they were moved yesterday, by so when they finally gets to court, they should have evidence that they weren't part of the, in quotes, destruction, wanton destruction and everything that happened. Because it bothers my heart to see a child goes to school. If you notice now, the Edo Central has been shut in terms of academic activities. Right. School resumed yesterday, but there was a circular from the State Ministry of Education that school is not resuming in the Central. So what does that mean? It puts the children, whether at the primary and tertiary level, at jeopardy in terms of education. They'll have to lag behind their other mates in the Central, in the South, and in the North, and in the nation generally. Your take on that?
Absolutely, especially students of Ambrose Ali University. Yeah. We even did hear that they were at some point scared of going to write their exams. And as we speak, just as you said, all school activities, all education activities has been put on hold moving forward. But just as you said, we'll let the law do its thing and have its course. But we're also aware that it has been adjourned. It has been moved to the 26th of February, 2026. So all of them put together have been remanded at Ubiaja Correctional Center, and of course it's an ongoing development and it's going to unfold and unravel, and there's so many things to look forward to in this particular case. Absolutely,
so many things to look forward to in this particular case. All right, let's flip through the pages of the papers. Let's see what the papers are saying this morning. We'll start up with The Guardian. That's the first one we have here. The Guardian saying APC stakeholders wade into Rivers crisis impeachment ploy. APC stakeholders wades into Rivers crisis and impeachment ploy. Right. We also have KPMG chiefs and ROS meet to address errors in new tax law. To address errors in new tax law. I don't know. I have to laugh. Yeah. So there was an error. It was published, and people have been debited. So the money you collected from me illegally from that error, what happens to my money?
It's a question of, I honestly do not know. I feel like that's one of the things a lot of Nigerians have been complaining and clamoring for. Yeah. The issue of accountability and transparency in this new tax regime. Remember at some point we had the gazetted one.
Yeah, they said it was different from the one we're using.
And up till now, we do not have a particular one out there in the public space that a Nigerian can hold and say, this is what we are following. Yeah. So that really is the problem. It's not the issue of taxing, it's how it's being done.
Accountability.
And also persons involved too. We've heard cases of the former CBN governor taking up how many houses? Only one person. The issue of Malami.
Okay, I wanted to mention that.
On the screen. So we've seen all of these politicians do their thing, and Nigerians are scared. You take my hard-earned money.
My hard-earned money?
You don't provide any necessary thing for me. And I get to
I am not even secured.
You know, work my stuff out and you tax me, and at the end of the day, one man from somewhere will now come and take my money.
Take my money.
No. So that's the thing. And I feel like the president and every other person involved should look into all of these lacunas.
Okay, I have to take that on the headlines, that mistake or error they said. Let's move to the Punch. The Punch says where import spending crashed by 54% to $6.7 billion. Fuel import spending crashes by 54% to $6.7 billion. Trump threatens airstrike on Iran as protest death toll hits 600. Above the masthead 2027, APC target 9 million registered members. Opposition kicks. APC targets 9 million registered members as opposition kicks. PDP APC fight for control of Osun local government secretariats. FG votes 19 billion for VP's aircraft engine orders. Let's talk about that, Anu. FG votes 19 billion naira for VP's aircraft engine. 19 billion naira. Wow.
Oh, this is Nigeria at the end
This
of the
is
day.
Nigeria.
And anything can happen. This is Nigeria. And it would even shock you that that's not the only thing. In some states, we see humongous figures of states saying they are allocating a particular amount for books, for
feeding
fuel.
children.
And then you begin to wonder, is this still the same country where a lot of Nigerians are screaming poverty, are trying to have, their 3 square meal every single day. But it is what it is at the end of the day.
Did this some sick into your head? Like 19 billion, not 19 million naira.
It's a
19
lot.
billion naira just for engine of aircraft for a year.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is Nigeria.
This is
like
Nigeria.
you
God help us.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Daily Trust. Daily Trust is leading. Katsina, fresh attack amid bandit release plan. Katsina, fresh attack amid bandit release plan. We can see pictures of students there and pupils going back to school. Also, REA budget 8.75 billion naira for projects in ministries and departments, power ministers and states. Above the masthead, defection rumor. Police deploy security at Kano Government House. Okay, defection rumor. I think I saw this yesterday that the governor is about to defect, but security has been heightened in the government. So why will you heighten security?
And the question is why?
Why? That's what I just asked. Why will you heighten security?
Well, we'll find out pretty soon because, we haven't seen a lot of governors defect.
Defecting. We've never heard you heighten security.
Right, maybe
Why is Kano different?
Kano State, the KK
Kwan-
state.
KK
It is a
state.
very special
Yeah,
state
yeah.
in the political
A political
scene. So it is
tension and all that.
expected that we'll see all of that
Okay.
play out.
We look forward to seeing what happens in the next couple of days because we are here to always analyze what they do in politics and in the politics. Okay, the last one there. Generator fumes kill 6 family members in Rivers. We've always said this. I say sleeping with a generator over or through the night does not show you are wealthy, and it does not show you are rich. To be honest, that's my personal take. Especially when it's those, what do they call them again? A better pass my neighbor kind of generators. Once you run your gen till 10, 11 in the night, put it off. I have a neighbor like that in the house that shares a fence with my house. Oh my God. They run it down. Come on, who do you want to impress?
I don't think it's a case of impressing.
But that's what some of them, I think that's what some of them do.
You live in Nigeria, and lately, last year,
we
December,
knew what
didn't
happened in
see
December.
The
Yeah,
hammer
we
time.
know.
The heat went up. So I don't think you blame an average Nigerian. Let's blame all of the parties and people involved. If we have a stable electricity, I don't think anybody would want to run gen 24 hours. So at the end of the day, it's left for you to have your health check and ensure that, okay, you know what, even if you want to run for 24 hours or throughout the night, you put it far away from your house.
From the
We
house.
see persons who have their generator houses, they just put their stuff there and it runs freely. So, safety.
There really need to be more sensitization need to be done because I see no reason why you put on a gen, then you're putting it close to where the fumes get into the apartment. And we've been told over the years that carbon monoxide kills. So 6 families just wiped out, just like that.
Really a sad one.
A sad one indeed. All right, that's all we can take for the papers this morning on TMI from our Benin Network Center. So we'll take a break. Let our guest comes in. Let's start unpacking insecurity, the right to protest. When you're protesting, how should your protest be like? Should it degenerate into violence, into crime, into riot? Because like I said at the opening, there's a difference between riot and protest. The Constitution, I think around section 40 thereabouts, 44, gives you the right for assembly, you gather, but it depends on what your gathering is for. But we've seen what happened, what transpired in Ekboma within the weekend. We'll make sense out of it. My guests will be here for us to delve into it this morning. Stay with us. It's the TMI from ITV Network. We'll be back.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Akwe seed. Ayo or Akwe game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Akwe game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
Thank you so much for staying with us still on the program TMI from our Benin Network Center. So before we get details into the conversation with our guest, let's also, have a chip chat on a security situation generally national. I know you've been, you are abreast with what has been happening everywhere, down from the U.S. invasion on a Christmas Day after Trump's post on Truth Social, which caused a scare. A lot of persons tell you they're after our oil, they're after our mineral resources. But one would have thought that since after that issue, after that the U.S. strike, in collaboration, they said, with the Nigerian Armed Forces, there would have been a reduction. But it seemed like nothing is really happening.
Yes, but at some point we saw a bit of proactiveness from the federal government, and all of this actually did happen because President Donald Trump of America said Nigeria is a country of particular concern, and reason being that because of what we have been seeing so far in the country with the state of insecurity, there was also talk of Christian genocide. We went back and forth with the federal government, and this is where we are at this point. Nigeria, it's still not 100% safe anymore. Right now in the country, there are some places that you cannot even go to by road. If you want to travel, you have to think twice before you embark on that journey by road. Now the question is, how many Nigerians can even afford air ticket?
Even if it is 50,000 naira.
During the festive, we saw
the increment.
We saw the increment, even from the big guys, the senators and the ministers were complaining of how you tend to pay almost $1 million naira just to fly, local, and how many Nigerians can afford that? How many basic Nigerian can afford that is the question. So it's really, really sad that we are seeing all of this happen at this period. There are those who would say that all of this is going on right now in the country because of 2027. There are those who would say that it is politically motivated. And I remember at some point the US did say that in Nigeria we have some of those top big guys who were funding insecurity.
Financiers of insecurity.
Yes. Now the question is, how about they begin to name names and the federal government say, you know what, let's deal with this. Let's deal with this, 100%, and let's flush out these guys. Let's not also forget that at some point last year we saw that the federal government sent troops to a particular country. I'm trying to remember now. Benin Republic.
When there was a purported coup
and to ensure that everything was stable and that didn't scale through. And that sparked a lot of questions for Nigerians, and they began to ask, so if the federal government can
have this manpower to send to a neighboring
country to help stabilize things, why can't we fix our country? Why can't we fix the security situation in the country? A lot of questions.
It's really a big question, because the one that shocks me most, this whole Ekpoma incident, there was another trendy video why that incident of the protest was happening on Saturday. People were still being kidnapped on that same road. I saw the video.
Even the next day.
The next day also. So because people were protesting against what happened on Friday, while they were protesting on Friday, another kidnapping was also happening for those who were traveling along the road. So it brings to question, what is really the issue? Is it like Wilson and Patricia said in Lagos, people who knows the terrain, people who understand? Because I think this has gone beyond the whole tag of herdsmen kidnapping, because there's a saying that before it is the rat that is at home that tells the one outside that there's food in the house. So before any coordinated kidnap of such magnitude can happen, trust me, someone who knows the terrain very well, someone who is aligned to the one you call indigent, someone from that place who knows the inside and the outside, will be a part of it. Because it brings to bear, like as I am now, I've never been to Sokoto all my life. I can't go to Sokoto to commit a crime because I don't know the terrain of Sokoto. So someone who knows Sokoto will be the one to tell you, oh, this is how to enter, this is the entry point, this is the exit point. So it brings to question our traditional rulers. I don't want to indict anybody. Don't you feel some of them, could be aiding and abetting some of these things happening within their domain in some cases?
Well, in some cases, and just as the law would say, everything is an allegation
until proven
to be true. Yes, but just as you said regarding the indigents, let's not also forget that Ekpoma has Bruce Olu University there, and we know and we hear cases of cult-related activities in that particular area. We also hear cases of the Yahoo guys who get to perpetrate their evil crimes. So some persons are saying that could it be that it's some of all these guys as well, the indigents who are also, doing a partnership with the bad guys, with the so-called herdsmen, and some of them would even say the Fulani herdsmen. But at some point, we're trying not to make it look like it's a tribal or tribalistic stuff, because anybody can actually be involved in kidnapping in the country. And anybody can. I mean, this is where we are at this point. But moving forward away from this, it's not enough to just talk about all of these things, because it's been going going on for a while now. Statistics has it that it's been going on for a while now. Moving forward is the solution. I hear that the state government has put some necessary security measures in that particular area to help stabilize things in that place. But what can we really do to see an end to this? Remember that a particular situation happened in Urumi sometimes last year.
Yes, sometime last year in Urumi.
How it's also did spiral to, was it Kano State now? And
yeah, the killing, the governor had to travel to Kano.
Absolutely,
you know?
and we saw how the Edo State governor was very proactive and he went down there to ensure that everything is normal. So we are looking forward to more proactive measures right now in this case and see that we don't hear cases of kidnapping, of killings, because these are young Nigerians. I mean, it could be
anybody. It could be anybody.
It could be your family member.
Be anybody.
You know, Nigerians will say God forbid.
I personally have had an encounter of a cousin, but thank God we were able to, you know, bring him out safe with that on horse. I knew the trauma we went through for that period of time.
And you know, gone are the days.
I knew the trauma.
Gone are the days when we talk about insecurity in the country, we talk about kidnapping. It's just for the big guys.
It's no longer for the big guys.
It's
no longer for the big guys.
I'm so sorry to say that right now. And every Nigerian can actually be kidnapped. And
even for a sum of 500,000.
You know, on a lighter note here, someone did say, with regards to the high ticketing and flying, someone did say, which one would you rather pay? Would you prefer 500K to and fro?
Or rather you pay 5 million?
Million naira, you get it. So, I mean, it's not funny.
It sounds funny, but it's not funny.
It's a Nigerian thing of trying to make crews out of
everything.
But it is really, really a serious ball game.
Yeah, it's a serious ball game indeed. We're calling on the government at all levels, the federal and the state. So as at yesterday, we heard that the governor has deployed area surveillance, military helicopter. Please, we want that not just to be sustained. To me, I would have said they wouldn't have even given opportunities or chances for this thing to happen before we start being proactive or reactive, rather.
Remember, in some states in the southwest, in the western part of the country, we hear of Amotekun, we hear of those ones in the east.
In the east, so the ESN and all that.
Yeah, right. So we need more of that in this part of the country. What happened to the local vigilantes? Don't we have any of them?
There's a big problem with the local vigilantes. They don't pay these guys. I don't know if you have that information privy to you. They are not paid. Their services they are rendering it for free. They've not the law, I don't think, has been gazetted for them to put them into a payroll. So I wonder someone who is giving you free service if you want to put his own life at stake.
Meanwhile, there's nothing free in Freetown.
Exactly.
This is where the traditional rulers will come together to say, you know what, how about we tax everybody in that community?
Exactly.
This is the amount you pay every single
month.
Should the
community even be taxed? What happens to security votes? Let's not tax the people.
What about
the people have been overtaxed?
Right. So what about the police? What's the state of the police in all of this?
The truth is, I've been dragging someone in the police. He will come to this show.
And then, you know, at the end of, perhaps they would say there are not enough hands. At the end of the day,
but they withdrew VIP. Withdrew police from VIPs.
Absolutely. So when they call out for persons to come and join the police first, you would not want to be there.
Why? No, I wouldn't want to join the police. No,
of course I would not want to.
No, I wouldn't want to. I love what I'm doing.
Protect and see that everything is all put together, especially with the security situation in the country. Remember that when a place is secured, a lot of investment will come in.
Exactly, economic activities will boom.
Stuff, and everything would function well.
Truth be told, what happened in Ekpoma on Saturday, it will have a toll on the economic activities of that region.
Absolutely.
Because I saw those animals that were taken away, carted away. One is on a loss on the people who are doing that business. Then some places that were also burgled into by, in quotes, those who hijacked the protest, the people have lost money. So these are economic activities we're talking about. All right, so we'll take a break. My guest will be joining us to unravel these issues. Someone who is a social commentator in the civil society space. He'll be here. Let's talk about this. Let's take a short break on the show. It's the TMI on the ITV network. Stay with us.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin aqua seed. Ayo or aqua game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just joining, you're on to This Morning on ITV, and our conversation Thursday has been the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, particularly the one that we have been seeing so far in Edo Central, right here in Edo State, with the protest, the pro-protest activities, and every other things involved moving forward. And right now, we have our guests seated with us here in the studio. We have Comrade Solomon right here. Thank you so much for coming, sir.
Thank you, my pleasure. Good
Thank you for coming, Solomon.
My pleasure.
All right, joining us virtually is Tiosa Igebo. Tiosa Igebo is a public affairs analyst and a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress. Tiosa, good morning and good to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Our guest right here in the studio. Can you help us make sense of what you have observed so far that's been going on in Ekpoma for a while?
Doesn't make sense. What's been happening in Ekpoma to me does not make sense. It does not make sense because we have a state where the primary purpose of governance is the security of lives and property. And the government has failed woefully in securing lives and property. Yes.
But you wouldn't blame the government because this is a national...
Of course the government. Is it you and me? Let me tell you what has been happening. We do not have security agents, especially the police. Let me tell you what saved us in December. Excuse me.
Okay.
What saved us in December is, you know, people don't know because the SSS does not come out to speak.
Yeah, they don't speak.
They've been the ones helping us.
Quelling the situation.
Not the police. The ones who have been seen kidnapping for it. It is the action of Edo Security Corps.
Edo Security Network.
Yes.
Yeah,
they've been the ones going to the bush, police come to take credit. The commissioner of police is sitting there looking at does not know what
was really governor.
Let me tell you, let me tell you, in administration, the commissioner of police is the chief security officer operations.
Okay.
Why the governor, it usually said is the chief security officer of the state, but administration, which means he takes information from him.
Yeah.
It's at liberty not to take directive.
He's at liberty.
Yes.
Not to take directive from the government.
Yes, he's at liberty.
Okay, probably because it's state police, a federal police.
Yes, he's at liberty.
Okay.
But he is the chief security officer operations in the states. So if you followed, I'm sure you did.
I did.
What you have been seeing has been the active work of the Edo Security Network and the DSS.
Not the police.
Not the police. Let me tell you what the police have succeeded in doing, just like what they did yesterday. They go on rampage, the one they refer to as raid.
There's a word they use.
Raid, they call it raid.
Yeah.
And then you go. What they were supposed to do, yes, just some crying. You went into people's house at 3 a.m. You picked them, no problem. It's raid. It's allowed by doctrine of necessity. It's called judge's rule.
Yeah.
And then what the judge's rule provides for is for you to pick them, screen them. It is called profiling. You profile them and see the wheat from the wax.
How do you know the wheat from the wax?
That is what is referred to in security as profiling. Where were you
at that point in time when the process was happening?
What are your alibi?
Okay.
Now I feel like the big question is...
And then you are not satisfied.
Yes.
What they did yesterday is the same thing they did last year.
In Uromi.
No, not the Uromi. When the commissioner of police went on rampage in the name of raid, arrested so many innocent persons, including JSS 2, JSS 3 students coming out of their streets, some going to buy Indomie for their younger siblings, and they were arraigned in court. We have over 300 people. It took the effort of the society to get them released. And to us, it was a waste of state resources. Because in the end, they are keeping them in custody. It is government stuff, and then you are making the DPP to go and waste time on issues rather than profile them before arraigning them. You pick them, look at it, it's strong pump charge. The same charge for everybody. Now, what is they were supposed to do on ground? The police have water cannon. The police have tear gas. The police, that's why you have riot police, what you refer to as Mopo. They go to the scene. If it was on the scene, you arrested those crowds
together.
It will be difficult to say you were not involved.
Okay.
Maybe you were a victim of circumstance. You passed wrong road at the wrong time.
At the wrong time.
Not after the events. You went to their various hostels. In fact, I was told that the SCG president,
you can see that on the screen already.
Yes, who was arrested along with them, was called on phone by the police to come so that
the SCG president was also arrested.
Yes, that he should come, that they wanted to discuss
questions.
You know, normal as a union.
Yeah, of course.
You have to go. So the point being made here, where the governor might be, mark the word, might be seriously interested, but he has no team, and it's that Bismarck fellow on the part of the governor.
Okay.
Because it's a second. No. I have no apology.
You know hold on. Speaking about Bismarck's failure, the question really I feel we should be talking about is how did we even get here? It wasn't as bad as this couple of years ago, because I heard the SSA2, the governor, on media speaking in a sister channel, and he was trying to say that this is not a new thing. It's something that has been going on in the country with the state of banditry in Nigeria, and it has actually spiraled to Edo Central. Is that the case?
Yes, it may be the case that it is not the endemic thing as it were. It was not generated from, like, it started from Edo Central. It's snowballed from northeast to northwest to north central, and north central to south.
Because the north central is very close to the south.
Yes, and then when you leave, Kogi is not central.
Yeah,
when you leave Kogi
is another ballgame.
It's Aganabode. It's a donut.
Once you cross,
and then when you cross there, you are in Irua. You understand? And from Irua, you are in Ekpoma. You understand? You understand? So the point here is that the government, at least their Motekun calls, are taking it seriously with them in their area. And like I said, my credit goes to the Edo Security Network, headed by Balogun Richard. The man and his team have been doing very well, much more than what we are seeing the police do. All they've been interested in is just raid and make a name. You know, now he will tell you, I arrested 52 persons. Now, how viable are the 52 persons you arrested? How much are they connected to the rampage? Yes, take it. That what happened there in Ekpoma was no longer a protest, but a riot.
Let's pause you there. Let's go to Etiosa. Igebo, you can hear our guest here in the studio. All he has said, I know your opinion, I don't know how different it will be from him. Because what we've seen or what happened in Ekpoma, if you ask a lot of persons, they will say it is the failure of the government. When you say the government now, the government in Edo State that has led to what happened in Ekpoma. Now, innocent citizens, those that don't know, possibly they don't know anything, they are now on remand. What would you have to say about what happened in Ekpoma within the weekend?
Well, first and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize for some of the victims and traders of residents of Ekpoma who were attacked during the riots that took place at Ekpoma, involving the students that have been arrested now. Yes, of course, my brother Solomon has his views on issues, and on certain aspects, I agree with him with some of the points he's made, particularly with the police. But obviously, on the part of the government and the governor, for instance, we need to realize that these different agencies, if you want to call it that works under the government, the security corps is also under the governor. The DSS also works tactically and strategically under the governor. So if you have the police force not doing enough as a primary subject of internal security, then that should not obviously metamorphosize into discrediting the governor, who we know has done so much and invested so much for security. It is now the duty of myself and Solomon and you guys in the studios to establish by speaking to people who work within the framework of the law enforcement. We have relatives there that works there. We have brothers, we have friends and sisters that works within the police force. We have friends and brothers that work within the DSS, same as the civil defense and obviously the security corps. Yes, I agree that Balogun and Chief Ucho, who works within the security corps and the other teams within that space are doing exceptionally well because they have experience. I also agree with Solomon that the police, especially with the #1 citizen, the police commissioner, from some information that I've had within my reach in the last year and a half, that is certainly not doing what he was supposed to do in the areas of proactive measures, working with the operations team on ground, especially his men, to have this deterrence even before it takes place. But where I want to disagree a little bit with my brother Solomon is to lay the blames on the table of a man who, for example, has invested billions of naira into having the necessary vehicles for police, the army, the DSS to carry out their job. At the same time, the same man who has invested so much into the same Ekpoma University, whether it is on roads within the Ekpoma axis, whether it is the university, for instance, the governor has literally shown humanity. He has done what the previous government could not do. Let anybody not mistaken that.
Let's pause you there. Let's pause you there. Igebo, let's take a pause from you there. Let's come back to the studio. I think he's aligning with what you said about the police and the commissioner of police not really doing enough for what happened. But I saw the commissioner of police yesterday with the governor in the Onoje's palace in Ekpoma. Probably maybe the guy is trying to do what we call...
He likes to do paparazzi. He do stunts.
You are the one who mentioned
that. No, yes, the paparazzi commissioner. He likes to play stunts. He speaks a lot of English that has no meaning.
Okay.
It is not the duty of the commissioner of police to speak English. It is the duty of the commissioner of police to be proactive.
But you need to be educated,
not reactive,
in order to speak English.
No, when I say English, it is not grammar that says security. It is tactical arrangement.
Yeah.
It is where you have. So it's obvious he has nothing.
You think so?
I said,
but if you have nothing,
it would obvious. Look, let me tell you, we work on a daily basis with the police. He's interested in what is not. Let me tell you one thing. Because you are not close, you may not be able to tell. Go and find out. Do your investigative journalism. The man is totally, on a different path with his tactical teams and his officers. It is not about pinning down. Let me tell you, Edo State is so strategic. And it is a state that has the best road network in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So how does pin down points save criminality in Edo? When you have a pin down point on Akpakpava, when you can take second and still go to slope, or go to third and take second, and then you can take first, or you can even go and take up Alawani and take up permission and still come back. So it doesn't make sense. It is not about pin down, asking DPOs to bring your men who is supposed to be on tactical alert. What we are supposed to be doing, because in our bushes they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So what we are supposed to be doing now is intelligence gathering and, you know, operational strikes.
Okay.
So it is not about coming to show on television and speak grammar. You see them, we had a meeting with him when he came newly. We were shocked when the man told us that he's not interested in drones and technical.
He said he's not. He said that he told the civil society.
Yes. And then only when the matter had gotten to his neck, we still saw the same man come back to say, we have acquired drones that can shoot from the sky. We were not asking ourselves at our civil society meeting, what is this man they even do? Not be this one tell us, say, not be Joe, be the answer, say, those ones not be the thing. Say there are ways you can. So, point I'm making is that sometimes they forget what they tell us.
Yeah.
But you
know what they say about a liar should have a good memory.
Exactly,
so that you can know what to lie.
Yeah,
again.
because you that have spoken to us, we that you told, we
will not forget. But you might forget.
Now, coming back to the issue of Ekpoma, sad.
So sad.
Honestly, so sad.
So sad.
So sad because one, we didn't expect that protest to snowball. But of course, it's a campus town.
Okay.
Of course, they are young persons. Of course, they are not registered protesters like some of us,
like the civil society,
who understand the rudiments, the rules of engagement. I will ask a
question about that.
Yes, the rules of engagement, because we know if we go on a protest and it becomes a rampage, we have our names at stake.
Yeah.
But like the protests that later became a riot in Ekpoma was not an organized protest. It was just
out of anger.
Yes, people came out and then it was not coordinated and then became a riot. So if you ask me, I'll tell you what happened in Ekpoma was not a protest.
Right. So what will you call it?
It's a riot.
Okay.
No.
Because what's a riot? An unorganized, uncoordinated protest. Okay. It was a protest where you were telling people that killing, arson, robbery, and all whatnot was wrong.
That's not what you are now going to do.
And then at the end, you twisted it and started stealing animals. People who went about their normal businesses, you assaulted them very bad. But that's where I expected the police to have acted. What is the distance from Benin to Ekpoma? That you cannot take a water cannon van if you do not have one. My brother Gebon mentioned that the governor purchased vehicle. Now people they operate the vehicle. You ask that they tell you that there is no functional funds for the not before they put.
There's an area command in Edo Central.
See, let me tell you how the police.
Because we have 3 area command.
Let me tell you how the police is. We know a lot. There are a lot you can't speak to.
I know because it's security issues.
The Eagle, which is the commissioner of police, and then you have the lay down from DC admin, DC ops, and DC intelligence, and then you have area commanders before you now have the DPOs. Now there is a chain of command. The area commander cannot act fully without a directive.
Okay.
But that is not to say that he does not have the authority to quest such as.
There's supposed to be exactly.
There's a limit to which.
Because everywhere there's an exception. There's supposed to be an exception for him.
Now, that's why I said it was a total failure. The police did not act when they ought to have acted. If the police went there when it started, because it started with little protests, you were by their side. Because what angers protesters is that when you come with guns and you are brandishing it, when you come, you stop them, you address them,
you protect them.
But we also need protection. We want to protect you.
Yeah.
We even self, we don't tire. The students have a sense of belonging because it's left Ekpoma protesters now because what we are now hearing now is students. So let me help them to say students. They will have a sense of belonging and they will be cautious. Because they have policemen by their side.
Okay.
The police will ensure they weed out criminal actions or activities around while they go on. They failed in that. It went from a normal protest to bonfire. And you know when you bonfire on the road,
it's a quota.
Yes,
you weaken the road.
The police were not saying, acting. At that point, they could even start doing tear gas. Maybe not directly on the students, but just put it even ahead of them so that they don't get to where the tear gas are. They will retreat. You didn't do that. It went into going to somebody's market, goat market, and started carrying goat. Police did not act. At that time, you now have at least the audacity to say you can shoot tear gas at them to disperse them. They went into the cattle market, and let me tell you, the Fulanis will always come back for their cattle.
Okay.
So if you don't understand, there is a keg of gunpowder boiling.
All right. I've been told we need to go on a short break. So we'll take a break on the show. The conversation continues in a moment. Stay with us.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking That's what I said. So when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
if
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Nedu Ukwakolopolo, Ewai II, Oba of Benin, stepped out majestically with loud crowd to perform the Sultan rites of his late mother, Queen Mother Ioba Omoni Ikoyeme, Ioba Ewai II, who departed the
Well, the state of insecurity in Ekpoma, Edo Central, right here in Edo State, has been our focal point this morning with our guests in the studio and also the ones joining virtually as well. So, but right now, I'll also move back to the guest in the studio, Comrade Solomon. Isn't it worrisome that all of this thing is happening within the senatorial district of our dear governor?
That's to tell you that the governor has, I said it just now. My brother gave us said it is unacceptable. I didn't say it. Well, how else will I say? The Benin will say any man go where you. If the masquerade does not dance at home, cannot go outside. The Benin will say, oh what?
What does that mean?
It is from the hole that things start getting set for you. It is from the head of an animal you look for the eye. I can go on and on. Edo Central is his primary constituency. Okay. The governor is not, I'll tell you my opinion. And without fears, I'll tell you. The governor is not reacting the way he was reacting at the Palace of Onogi because the Ekpoma people went on rampage. He was reacting because his big board was torn. That's what's in the air.
But you are alleging that.
And that's what's in the air. That's what we think. And that's what we have come to believe.
But why should a big board be torn in a protest?
Was it a protest? Let me tell you. The police will say, when the cry becomes too much for a cock, the owner of the cock will not even realize when he will join the cry. The people have been maimed, they've been robbed, they've been, so much insecurity in the place.
Now, with all of
and then the people are becoming uneasy. Now, you ask, is it okay for them to go and demolish destroy, not just poster, the Emoji's palace. Let me tell you, it's a perception. A lot of people believe that these marauders, these criminals, cannot enter your land unless there is a consent. There's a matter I followed up at some point with the security agencies. Yeah. And then the people were alleging their king.
The king, the traditional
Yes, and they came to discover because when they arrested some of the hoodlums, they said they gave 2 million naira to their king.
2 million.
Yes, and cows to give them permission to come to the land. And so the people went on rampage. I am not saying that is the case of Ekpoma. So sometimes in the midst of such, because I was told that Donoji addressed them earlier before he left, perhaps a wrong word fitted into the ears of the protesters and they reacted and they overreacted. It's unacceptable. Right. It is condemnable. Okay. But that is not enough for the, you see, let me tell you, the people in Uromi that we arrested, where people of Uromi were being maimed, harassed, raped, murdered, kidnapped, and then at some point they saw travelers who later became hunters in the hands.
Unleashed it on the travelers.
Yes, who later became hunters in the hands of the police people.
But they were hunters.
How do you say? If you hold on now, would they say you are registered hunters? Do they have hunters identity card?
Do they have Hunters Association in Nigeria?
Yes. Is it a union that is licensed to carry gun everywhere? That you carry gun from east to north? Is that how it's done? Rather than investigator, he came. Our governor went to Kano to go and pay ransom.
But he did the right thing, didn't he?
Well,
he went for a condolence. He did not. There was no evidence that he paid the ransom.
No, it was said he paid. It was. Let's not deceive.
It was said. We didn't hear that.
He said he has compensated. The compensation is what? Compensation and water. Okay. Now at the end, the people are arrested.
Right.
Lots of them are still languishing in prison. You have not ended that. Your clueless commissioner of police went on raid without profiling. Now, mark you, they arrested yesterday. That's a day before yesterday, rather, and arraigned the following day. That's enough to show to you they didn't do profiling. Now, again, I know Justice Williams,
the trial
judge, very refined gentleman. As a very refined gentleman, I can say that boldly. But even, because some of our society members in court yesterday, they reported back to us that at the point where the man was to make rulings, somebody came and gave him a paper.
So it was influenced?
Yes! Yes! gave him a paper, and he read, nodded, and his containers changed.
Wow. In the court?
In the courtroom.
Where they were trying them?
In the courtroom.
Oh, wow. This is...
In the courtroom.
This is a strong...
I know. Look at it. You lack jurisdiction to hear a matter. You lack jurisdiction to remind them. If you lack jurisdiction to hear a matter, you lack jurisdiction. The only thing you cannot rule is that police should go do due diligence.
Okay.
All right, let's move over.
That's to tell you that it is the influence of the state.
Absolutely.
The governor was not reacting because there was rampage. Was reacting because his 2.5 million vote is being cut short. Let me tell you, the anger of the Edo citizen is that when you give this governor 5 minutes to speak, he speaks of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 4 minutes 45 seconds.
And of course, we're also aware all of this is happening during the politicking era right here in Nigeria.
In the calendar of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, 2026 didn't exist. Ditto the calendar of the governor of the state, 2026 didn't exist. The governor is too particular about the 2027, and he's losing it.
Absolutely. Let's move over to
the people first.
Let's move over to our guest joining virtually. So you've heard everything thus far that's been going on right here in the studio. I'd love to get your inputs on it. And also another big question: should we begin to politicize this particular incident in Ekpoma? Do you think that is what is going on right now?
Let me tell you first and foremost, I understand that when you play football, you create a level playing field, what they call fair play. Solomon is a brother. My opinion might differ from his, but you cannot tilt your access to conversations to express a particular issues, particularly to deal with somebody that you know or understand something about a situation or a state that I belong to, by allowing the conversation to be one-sided. I mean, come on, even if you have technical problems and I needed to contribute, you couldn't have come back from the halftime and go back to Solomon. See what I'm saying? So I'll go straight to the point. You don't anchor situations and issues on matters that is very serious. And then Solomon has his views on the governor. I have my views. I've not been able to tell you exactly and things that he has done, which I know everybody in the studio knows, but even if you want to pretend not to know. And at the end of the day, you're looking at these issues of youths and students rioting. Why should they riot? What has gone so bad that is not better today compared to the previous administration that everybody wants to jump off the cliff about? So I will say again, I will repeat it. I think this governor has invested so much into security. And like I said in my initial comments on these issues, the Civil Defense Corps that the security network that my brother Solomon said was doing well, the DSA, they are also under the governor of the state. So if an arm like the police is not doing enough, and I'm here on this platform to tell you that I agree with him in that because of certain information that is privy to me, that should not amount to the aspect of saying maybe the governor is angry, is not happy because of the fact that his Bibo was touched or the issues to do with Asiwaju, for instance. No, bro. That is not the case. The truth of the matter is that there are people, I believe, who have got involved in this matter to engineer the young, gullible youths and students in Ekpoma that the governor has invested so much into their life, raised their monthly subvention from 41 million to 500 million naira every month, which amounts to 6 billion a year, to enable them to have better education. Do you think it is right for a right-thinking person to want?
All right, Mr. Itinosa, just to cut you short a little bit. So if I got you correctly, you are saying that it is not as bad as Nigerians, especially on social media, are painting the picture to be right there in Ekpoma. But let's not also forget, there are those who would say what is going on right now, it's actually been underreported. Would you want to lay more emphasis on that, please?
No, miss, don't interrupt my thought process. I'm not new when it comes to addressing issues on TV or radio. I'm speaking, I was still on my feet when you interrupted me. What I'm saying is the issue of insecurity in Edo is better today than it's ever been. If there's an isolated situation in Ekpoma, I think arresting these people that were rioting because they were on camera, allow the police some time to profile and carry out an investigation, because the way those things move from having a conversation...
Profiling. What happened? Will you call that profiling? Because just within a day, they were just sentenced. But to me or to some persons, they were in profile. Will you call that profiling per se?
What I'm saying is people were arrested, but at least they were students. Whoever they've heard, they will do the investigation. If they're not part of it, they can let them go. How do you, for 8 years of the past administration, and never, when they had no role to go through as part of security,
must we have to bring in past administration in every conversation? So we are not talking about past administration. We're talking about the situation right now. The past governor is not even in Nigeria, so let's not always make this thing whole look so political and politicking and politicking. Let's tackle what we have now. Please, can we let's focus on our conversation on the issue, not past administration, Etienne, sir.
No, people alleged on the studios about how they believe that the governor went to Kano to try to pacify the families of the innocent people that was killed, that was coming from Rivers State, who were attacked in Uromi. Everybody knew that there was a mistake at Uromi. Yes, the police didn't intervene on time, but the people should not have been killed. If the governor has gone to meet the governor, proactively went to
we're pressed for time now. We need to get your closing lap, both from the comrade here in the studio and from you. But let's get his thought as we begin to wrap up. Now, they've been sentenced, or as it per se, they've been remanded. Yeah, that's the word, not sentenced. They've been remanded, and remand means they still have to go to a correctional center. Take it or leave it. So there will be harrowing experience for someone who did not commit a crime to go to a correctional center.
And the law France at getting one innocent person
remanded. Why
that have 99?
Yeah.
You know. So the point is this.
Okay.
It's a failure on the part of the police.
Okay.
And by inference, it is a failure on the part of the government.
So what should be done to
correct
this
error? What should be
error?
done is that first, the governor should seek for the immediate removal of the commissioner of police, because it's happening again and again.
Okay.
Now, that's on the one side.
Right.
2, the governor should be proactive and not reactive. Okay. Let me tell you, one of the things that's, you know, the tearing of billboard did not happen in Edo North. The tearing of billboard did not happen in Edo South. It happened in Edo Central, in his own town.
The governor's constituency.
And the 2 rampages that we are having now that has happened is happening in the governor's constituency. He should speak to the issue.
Okay.
Now what it means is that the governor should do more.
All right.
It should not rely on they
give him information, feedback.
Because they are telling him what
the boys are doing well, and the boys are not doing well.
They are telling him what he wants to hear and not what he should know.
Okay.
He should go out and be proactive.
Right.
Because what we are seeing now is being reactive.
Right.
And the governor should know that it is the people's first. He should learn to speak less of an Asiwaju 2027 and speak more of the lives, property, security of Edo people. And that will make us, like you said, who is interested in past administration. Yeah. But today, people are already saying it is better to have a thief as a son than to have a fool as a son. I leave it at that.
Okay, Etienne, sir, let's get your pattern short because we need to wrap up the conversation in our Benin Network Center.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Just like that, so that's how it become bill.
Ọba tó pé Osanore Umadogemo Agmoye ni awode wae nori ọba Osanore ọba Umadogemo Agmoye ni awode wae
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Ugbede Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Ugbede Onwonse, visited.
Thank you so much for staying with us. It's still TMI reaching you on the ITV network. So much has been said about the situation in Ekpoma, those states. My guests have actually lent their voices. We'll just look forward to seeing the government being proactive in situations like this rather than being reactive. But let's shift our attention away from Ekpoma. Let's take you to Rivers State, South Nigeria, same geopolitical zone. You know, Rivers has been like, how do we put in a child that the parents will beat with the left hand. They will also drag that same child with the right hand, or you beat with the right hand and drag with the left hand. So the saga in Rivers since 2023 is something that you know, it seems like it does not have an end. The fate of Fubara against his former boss, the ex-two-times governor and now the incumbent minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nyesom Wike. So much happening. But I and my colleague here, Anu Oluwakbo, will be talking on that. I know you've been abreast with what has been happening in Rivers. Even before you went on your break, you know, the Rivers issue has been there since 2024. Right. Because I think that guy did not even settle for 1 year before the whole issue started coming up. This is the third impeachment notice that has been served the governor by the State House of Assembly. The last plenary on the floor of the House, I saw the Speaker, Martin Samuel Wile. He was so furious that the governor cannot do this. I was just looking at the guy like, okay, please, can you calm down? Even the impeachment notice that was sent to the governor, they addressed the governor as Madam. To me, I saw that as a typographical error anyway, because probably one is for the deputy. The deputy, the deputy is female. So they addressed the governor as Madam. I was like, how did we get here addressing a man as a woman? So the whole Rivers saga. What's your take on that?
So many questions on my mind when it comes to Rivers State, because it is one state that is dear to my heart, being from that part a little bit with my mom. And with Rivers State, it's a case of 1 week, one trouble. Every single time, there's always something. If it's not the FCT minister in Rivers State having his local government tour, it is his predecessor who learned from him to go to churches to address political situation. That always versus my brain. Like, how did we even get here is the question. Right. But amongst all of the things right now, as we speak going on, one of the main question is, when would governance really start? in Rivers State, because this issue has been going on since Siminalayi Fubara came into office. I don't think he even had any time to do anything governance.
Not at all.
Whilst we talk about what is going on, the hula pulu, the tours back and forth, we'll see the FCT minister come out to say, you know what, I will not make the same mistake twice, meaning I would not let him run again and become the governor of Rivers State again. We hear Sim Fubara saying, you know what, it's not about making him out. I don't want to even stress myself to do anything. I am just calm because I have it all under control. Was it just yesterday where we saw some big wigs in the APC saying, you know what, let's come to an agreement. Let's appeal to this body. What really is going on is the question. Why do we still have the case of the back and forth going on? Just when we thought that when the #1 man in the country came on board to settle things, that would be the end. And let's not also forget that President Bola Tinubu prevented him from getting out of the office. Are we going to see the president coming in again to help solve the situation? Is it a case of power tussle? There's so many questions really to be answered.
Okay, so yesterday, the House, 2 members of the 31 members of the House of Assembly said they were not going to be a part of the impeachment move or notice that has been served to the governor and the deputy, Professor Ngozi Odo. When looking at it from this perspective, do we now start seeing, do we say we're seeing a divided house in the House of Assembly? Because it's supposed to be a unity kind of thing. Because when that motion was presented by the majority leader, the person of Major Jack, who is the, more like he has double majority leader, Major Jack, who presented the notice of impeachment that was read on the floor when the speaker was so furious, the speaker was shouting and angry that they've never had a governor of this type. Fubara is the what? I was just looking at him like this. Okay, can you calm down? Just learn to calm down, drink water and calm down. Let's assume it becomes a case of the house is splitted. They will foresee probably a division among members.
It's already happening. Let's not even.
So is it that probably the governor is already playing his own game from the back door?
Definitely, he will. He has to play his own game because then again, politics is a game, right? It's a game of interest. And well, with the case of Rivers State, it's really interesting. I would say.
So interesting.
It's really interesting. Now, one would have thought that Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, would actually play the big guy, but it seems not to be the case. Let's not also forget that when he was the governor of Rivers State, at some point he was talking about how he's against godfatherism. I honestly do not know if that is what's going on right now. He's against godfatherism, and we have seen how he has actually performed and acted after he got out of office, after he became the minister of the FCT.
He now seems to be a god unto himself.
I remember Warren Chieftain was actually saying that if Nyesom Wike hadn't gotten the FCT minister position, he wondered what would have become of his political career in Rivers State. Well, it's really a sad one. And then, as they would say, went to elephant fight. The grass suffers for it, and the Rivers State people. If you go to Rivers State right now, governance is at its barest minimum. Nothing has happened thus far. The other time, we were hearing the governor of Rivers State saying because he defected to the APC, he said he's the 001.
The minister said you cannot be the 001.
The minister of the FCT came on board and said there's no way.
You can be a chieftain, but you're not the 001.
Right? And so conversation was now on saying, so what if the FCT minister moves over to the APC? Would he become the 002?
Wow, that's part also. That's part also. But it seems like what the minister is doing, to me, if you ask me, he's playing, should we call it a game of chess? Bringing the head of this political party, that's the PDP, bringing the head of this political party, the APC. Because as it stands, nobody knows the party the former governor belongs to. He claims to be a member of the PDP. He claims. But if you look at it realistically, that guy seems to be playing anti-party politics.
Now let's break it down a little bit. So last year, we had the PDP saying they have removed, they've
it was expelled. It was expelled
is the word. Ejected him out of the PDP.
After the convention.
He came back to say, you know what, you cannot do that to me. I formed this party. I was one of the major heads of this party. You can't do that to me. So right now, we don't even know where he is. He's not in the APC because he said, he categorically did say he was not going to join the APC, right?
He did that.
Right now, the PDP, we do not even know where he stands. So are we going to see him move over to the APC? Would that be the the case. I remember in one of his local government tour, he had the chairman, I would say, of the PDP and the chairman of the APC.
Chairman of the PDP. Yeah, he had a picture
bragging
of both
about
of them.
how he has this influence in Rivers State, and he can do whatever it is to, you know, to actually ensure that he gets his predecessor out of office. I think that's the case. We also saw him go visit Asari Kubo.
Yeah.
And then I asked the question, really? Politics? And then there are those who would say that the governor of Rivers State has actually outplayed him in all of this. But at the end of the day, it's an ongoing one. We'll see how it goes.
We'll continue to see how it goes.
Yes,
yeah.
And I feel like there's so many games and drama that will still ball out of Rivers State.
Because this is pre-election year.
Right.
And this is the year where politicking and politicking is at the highest ebb. From July, I don't think you're going to hear anything governance again in Nigeria. It's going to be campaign, campaign, campaign. So we just continue to watch and see how all of this plays out, not just in Rivers alone, but nationally. Because the president wants to go. He has not said he's not running. He has not told anybody.
Where is the
Despite the fact that
right now?
recently they said he went to Europe. Europe is a continent.
Right now we're asking, where's our
president? I think that would be a topic for conversation on Thursday.
Yeah.
That would be a topic of conversation on Thursday. Where's our president? Really?
He's on recess, festive recess.
Festive recess.
Absolutely.
He did not do crossover in Nigeria.
No.
The country he's the president.
He's on festive recess, and he'll be back shortly.
We'll hand you now over to our colleagues in Lagos, Wilson and Patricia, for the continuation of TMI. Stay with us. It's the TMI on ITV.
This is Ahwa Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game.
Continuation of TMI from our Lagos Network studio. I am Patricia Urumu Gabriels. Thank you for joining us and thank you for staying tuned. Anyway, I am not going to be doing this alone. I am honored and opportuned and grateful to have Wilson in the studio. Wilson, all the way from Benin, came to, grace the studio here in Lagos. Wilson.
Yeah, Patricia, this kind of honor, I don't like it. Come on, man, you're my colleague. I just came around to say, hey,
no,
Lagos.
I am very grateful and honored to have you in Lagos studio. It's always very difficult to move them away from Benin studio. Of course, we have our head office. Thank you for Wilson for joining us.
It's a pleasure being here, Patricia.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the military intervention in combating insecurity. Is it weakening the Nigeria police force? That's what we're going to be looking at today. And of course, we have in the house someone who is going to be talking to us about that, trying to describe or to explain all of this to us. And he is Barrister Atta. He's a political analyst. He's usually here for us to help us analyze everything we want to look at. Thank you, Barrister, for coming this morning.
Yes, thank you, and good morning. You look good. Both parties look good. Yeah. And then thank you for having me as your guest today.
I hope we're not intimidating you with our traditional outfit.
No, it's beautiful. I think I love it.
Thank you for loving it. Anyway, let's just go straight to what we're looking at today. And then it's been a question people are asking. you know, a lot of people out there are asking. Is this the military intervening in combating insecurity in Nigeria internally? I mean, in the state, we see them everywhere. It's not supposed to be so, but we see the military everywhere now. And so, is it weakening the Nigeria police force? Is it something we should be worried over?
No, because if you look at the provisions of the Constitution and the provisions of the Police Act, particularly Section 4 of the Police Act, you will see that the functions of the Nigerian police force is well stipulated there. That is to prevent crime and then and then to equally prosecute offenders. You see that the power is narrowed down internally. Therefore presupposes that the Nigerian police force, they don't have the power to go external, to go outside the country. But whereas the military, they have a power to intervene internally and then externally. So it's a different ballgame. So for me, I don't think to an extent that will weaken the efforts and the job description of the Nigerian police force.
So you're talking about the job description. Thank you, you mentioned that. That's what the people are, you know, particularly saying, that it looks like the military is taking the job description away from the Nigerian police force. I mean, the things that the Nigerian police force should have tackled, it looks like the military is stepping into it. So people are saying, why don't we give the Nigerian police force the opportunity to do their job? And then if they're not getting it right, or if it's being overwhelming for them, the military could come into it.
This is something that the military are not even getting it. They are not even getting it right. We are not near solving the issues of insecurity all over the Federation. The military are not even getting it right. So how well do you even think that the Nigerian police force are going to get it right? They are cake in their way of doing things, not experienced, not properly trained. Is that people you want to engage? Even the Nigerian army, they are not getting it right. So how much of the Nigerian police force that is not of the same level, not of the same cadets? This is insecurity all over the Federation we're talking about. And this is a situation where we have people from the neighboring country, they are intruding into our security outfit, and then you think that we can narrow it down to the Nigerian police force. It's not possible. Because if you look at the section I just cited now, you will see that the Nigerian police force, their job description entails protection of life and properties, prosecuting of matters. So how can you say because the Nigerian army are not prosecuting matters? They don't take criminals to court. They are narrowed down to prosecution of matters that are exclusively reserved for their personnel. So, but whereas the reverse is a case with the Nigerian police force. If you and I commit an offense, the prosecuting body is the Nigerian police force. That is the law. So for me, I don't think the Nigerian police force, they have a lot they are facing right now. They are not well paid, they are not well remunerated. If you go all over the Federation, you see how their, their barracks are abandoned. So the government needs to step in and ensure that proper training. You equip them with enough weapon, proper training, proper orientation, so you can garnish them with enough arsenal, so they can do their job description.
All right. Now, if I should come and get to realize that the former Chief of Army Staff, Buratai, was the one that really made this comment, and he gave reasons, saying that the police force are becoming weak, they're becoming lazy because of what the military is doing. Take a look at the country's situation and talk about security challenges. They are the ones mounting the various posts that used to be the work of the police. Now, he now says this should continue for quite a long time. One, the military will be overstressed, overworked. And secondly, the police will be more and more lazy, knowing fully well that the military are always there to do the job. Now, he went outside the police and said even other security agents also are relying more on the military to help them do their job, thereby overloading the military with the work the police ought to have been doing in the first instance. So what's your own angle?
Yes, I know that if you go all over the Federation, most of the highways now, you see different military checkpoints. That is not part and parcel of their job description. But to an extent, you agree with me that they need to step up because the Nigerian police force have failed woefully in their job description. More importantly, I put the blame on the government. You need to ensure that the job description of each of the outfits is well designed, and then you assign them their role. You don't just go and assign your men to a job that is exclusively reserved to the Nigerian police force. So it's an abuse. whether we like it or not. It is an abuse in the system. So you cannot eat your cake and then you have it. The police, they are more concerned about mounting roadblock within the city where they can take advantage of people, corruption. Once you offend traffic, they will just clap your car down, and then the next thing is just to give you arbitrary or unnecessary fees to pay or penalties without even giving you fair hearing. And that's not the intention of the provisions of the Constitution. So for me, I think that the military, they have to step up, and that's what we are seeing all over the Federation, because the Nigerian police have failed. If you ask me to rate them, I'll rate them 2 over 10, and that's just as a matter of sympathy.
2 over 10?
Yes, the Nigerian police force.
As a matter of sympathy?
Matter of sympathy.
Yes.
So why are you going to rate them
Yes, as a matter of, because they have failed woefully. And like I said, you can't put something on nothing and then you expect it to stand. It's clear. There are provisions of the provisions of the Constitution say that, and the Police Act describe their job description. But whereas they are more interested in corruption, they are more interested in corruption.
So who is giving these military men the job description to go out to mount
various roadblocks?
There is no way that their principal is not aware of that, because before you can step out of any barrack, you must sign that you are going for they must be aware that you are at roadblock, this and that and that. So the principal officers are aware, they are officers, and you even see them. They are even copying the antics and the corruption mechanism of the Nigerian police force now. You see them, once you see them on the highway, I'm a living testimony to this. I'm not hiding it as it is. I've seen them in the public transport where they are collecting, what is it called? I don't want to say it, but Egunje. Let's put it like that. So they are now beginning to be infiltrated by the habits and the practice of the Nigerian police force. If you are in Rome, to them, you now behave like a Roman. Now that they are now hobnobbing and romancing with the Nigerian police force, they are now beginning. The
question is, with these roadblocks and the military intervention, is it curbing insecurity right now?
It's not curbing insecurity per se. Let me give you a practical example. I traveled to Kogi State recently, and then I saw about 20 or 25 military checkpoints from Lagos to Kogi State. Few weeks thereafter, somebody was arrested by a common Okada man in my hometown. And those people that are branded as bandits, they came as far from the north, from the northern parts of the country. How is it that they were able to penetrate? And then it's just a common security man within the region that arrested those bandits. How is it? If indeed. So with this belief that once you pay your tithes, you are allowed to go, and that's corruption. Once you drop something, you go. They will not checkmate you, whether you are with weapon or anything. That for me is not solving the situation.
Wilson, 1 minute. Yeah. I hear Nigerians when they are kidnapped or their family members are kidnapped, instead of calling out to the Nigerian police or the military, you hear them calling VDM. So what is this new trend of calling VDM?
Whether we like it or not, VDM is now a brand. It's a figure. He's not a perfect person, but if you go to advanced country, the government will incorporate his experience and then try to see how they can bring him to the system. But the reverse is a case. He's doing it, but that does not mean it's perfect. But however, people are calling him because he's using the social media crusade as a movement. And that's why you see very dark man, VDM, all over the Federation. He's a movement. He has branded himself as the fourth arms of government. I don't know where he got that practice from, even though it's not part and parcel of the federal character system. But however, whether we like it or not, he's more effective in some situations than even the Nigerian police force because of his way of operation. I'm not saying I will rate him 10 over 10 or 5 over 10 because we have seen where he has gone overboard, where he's not supposed to, where he's supposed to cooperate with the force, and then you hand over your evidence of your findings and all those things, but he believes in himself and then go and upload everything on social media. You don't investigate like that. You don't front load all your evidence online. Your enemies will regroup and then they will re-strategize and then they will strike. It's not hygienic for you and for the system. That's my take.
All right, now if you take a look at the structure, we're talking about security architecture. The Nigerian police force and other security agents, they have their own pattern. they have the roles that they play. But now they are now worried that the military is infringing into those particular roles that the police ought to be in charge of. How do you think this can be corrected?
Well, I think this can be corrected by the government taking up responsibility. The government needs to wake up. It's a collective responsibility. It's because the system has failed. And that's why you see that life and properties, because it is he that is alive that you can talk about you want to govern, per se. So whether we like it or not, the government must wake up and assume their responsibility pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution. It boils down to the government waking up and accept their imperfection and then step up. That's number one. And then number two, the Nigerian police force, they need to be empowered.
In what way?
That they need
some parts of the Nigerian police force?
Yes, she's a force personnel. And then my point is that, how will you just abandon your staff? There should be an insurance package for all the police all over the Federation, whether victim of accident, deaths, and a lot of insurance package. I'm not recommending any insurance company, but I want to be specific. There should be, because they are going out, they are sacrificing their life, their family, their properties, and everything in protection of every other person all over the Federation. So the government must give them 100% attention. If you go to United States of America, you see that the president will be in the control room anytime Americans want to strike any other foreign nation. The president will be in the control room with them, controlling them. How more? Not this one that you go and sit at Aso Rock, or you sit at, what is it called, the National Assembly, you wear agbada, and then you are collecting millions per session, and then some people are out there sacrificing their life and every other thing, and then you don't care for their welfareism. So the government must wake up and ensure that these people are well taken care of. You don't just abandon them and then you expect to get results. Otherwise, it's you and I that will continue to suffer all these things. They say that we drew, what is it called? They say there's no more
police for VIP.
Police for VIP.
Yes.
But you see that they are same boss, the same DPO, because of what they are benefiting from that, because it's a DPO that will assign personnel that will go out for each of their daily activities. What they'll do is that they'll tell the officer in charge, don't wear your, what is it called, don't put on your uniform. And then you seem like a normal person. And then you see them parading after VIPs. So whether we like it or not, it is you and I that is suffering all the fact that the system is bad. How? When you are driving, they will stop you, and then they're asking for money from you. It's because of the fact that the government have failed. It's because of the fact that the government is not checkmating the Nigerian police force. Corruption is with ease. They are remitting to their superior, and their superior remit to another superior up there, and then it continues to recycle around the system. Corruption. They continue to hobnob and romance among themselves in this euphoria of corruption. So how best can you describe that? You will suffer it, and then you see that a bigger force will continue to intimidate you and I. We're not going to continue with that very soon. Okay. The system is going to change, and we're very optimistic.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving forward, if this current trend continues, what does Nigeria's internal security architecture will look like in the next 5 years?
The system is going to continue to weak. It's going to continue to grow bad if we don't step up, if the government is not ready to accept their imperfection, like I said earlier. Not even in the next 5 years, except we are ready to embrace technology. If you go to most of the Nigerian police force, if you go to most of their districts in Lagos, you will see that they are not even organized, even among themselves. Let me give the example. You go there, you see a generator that is servicing the DPO, and then you see another pass my neighbor servicing what is that unity, and then you see noise all over, and then you want to photocopy something just to run photocopy. in that office. You have to go outside and then you go and pay within they themselves. Even to get what is it called, statement form from their fellow colleague, that one will be asking him that he's going to pay. Statement form that is branded in the and headed in the name of the Nigerian Police Force. And then I need a statement force as your colleague. I'll have to pay you to get yours. Therefore, presuppose I have to procure it from you. Is that unity we're talking about? In as much as we're blaming the government at the federal level, we equally need to blame the people that are involved. They are not even ready, and then wake up. Then they need to wake up and accept responsibility. We cannot continue to operate with this gross incompetency in the system, and then we feel that the system is going to work. It's not going to work overnight. It's a collective responsibility, like I often say, and I will continue to say it, and I'm saying it again. The system can only work when we come together collectively. It's not just one-way traffic. It's you and I and every other third person. That's how it works.
All right. Okay, now let me take a look at the prospect of joint task force. You get to see, an array of military in combination with police, DSS, NSCDC, you just name it, working together to achieve a particular goal in terms of fighting, security challenges. This kind of arrangement, isn't it supposed to at least empower the police force rather than making them to be weak? Because Burata has been there. We talk about the theater of operation, we talk about war, fighting against insurgency. Speaking from his experience, do you know the concept of this particular joint force would have been enough to at least make the Nigerian police force more viable? After all, they're working with the military.
Yes, that is the intention of the joint force. But however, the Nigerian police force, because they are lazy, I'm saying it with all sign of respect to the system, because they are lazy, they are not experienced, and then there's this inferiority complex among them anytime they are working with the Nigerian army.
Are you going to blame them?
There's an inferiority complex. They are not well trained and then equipped. They can't meet up the standard. So there's this impression that the army is going to intimidate us, this and that. So they intend to withdraw and then get lazy alongside of the job description. And that's why you see them gradually, they are withdrawing their partnership, and then anytime there's a joint task with them and the Nigerian army, you see that they are very lazy. There is no any level of productivity from them. Don't expect anything from them. Nemo quod dat non habet. You can't give out what you don't have. So it's certain. They don't have the experience. So the best experience they have is, where is your receipt for these goats? On the streets of Ojuelegba, somebody is going home to go and celebrate Christmas, and then you're asking him, where is the receipt of this goat? And then where is the receipt that you bought this your hat? And then so embarrassing. Is that so? It's so disheartening and so disgusting. The system is the system is manifestly bad, and then nobody is saying anything about it. It's not part and parcel of the system. Corruption is now the order of the day. Let me state the word of the immediate president. Corruption is good. When you fight corruption, corruption will fight you back. If we don't fight it, it's going to kill all of us one day. That is what we are seeing clearly now. Once you want to fight the system will regroup. I have a friend who is in the Nigerian police force. Anytime they go for all those, they are fraudulent, and then how do I put it? Fraudulent transaction. He said, I'm not part and parcel of you people. They have to connive against him. They relegated him to a very remote area. You see how it is. If you are not ready to be part of the system, there's how the system will fight back. And that is what the immediate president, the late President Muhammad Buhari said. And I agree with him.
If you don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so looking at the corruption in the police force, just like you have explained now, what are the specific reforms that are urgently needed to, restore confidence?
One is training. The Nigerian police force, they need 100% training. You need to train them, number one. Number two, you equally need to equip them. You need to equip them with weapons. Not all those archaic AK-40. Can I call that AK-40 something? Not all those archaic guns that you see them carry all around. And then you see accidental discharge or something, different kind of scenario. And then number three, you need to rebrand their orientation. You need to rebrand their orientation. And then number 4, for the Nigerian police force, you equally need emotional intelligence for them. You need to checkmate them where they are coming from. Is it that they're used to consuming all this dirty alcohol on the street that you see? All those have effect in their productivity. When you are consumed in the corridor of alcohol, there's every possibility that your judgment, your actions is going to be otherwise as against what is expected of you. You cannot have any better productivity when you are caught up in the web of alcohol. It's not possible. And then number 5, you equally needs to work on the, what is it called? The government needs to the barrack, the outfit is unkept. We are recommending, I'm saying that the government needs to do something in such a way that they can have a beautiful edifice, even in their offices. Cooperation, unity among the offices. You can't go to an office and then you have about 4 to 5 station generators making us all up and down. Is that a conducive atmosphere for
that generator? I was not coming to them, but
so particular.
Yes, because I'm concerned about them. They are human. They are like you and I. I will not want that pattern to be obtainable in my office. How much of an institution that is a product of the Constitution? It is a product of the Constitution. It's not a company that is selling tissue paper. Even a company that is selling tissue paper or selling akara on the street, they are even more organized than that setting that you see.
All right.
It's so bad.
Now, if you take a look at the budget allotted for fighting against insurgency, fighting against terrorists, you get to realize that the large chunk of money given to this particular outfit vis-a-vis the military, Navy, you just name it, a larger percentage of this money goes to either the military, the Navy, the Nigerian Air Force, and a very little percent goes down to the police. If any gets to them, are you going to blame them for being so weak? As you say, Baba, because giving good reasons why they're becoming weaker and weaker by the day. The military aspect of it, you get to hear Tucano jets, you get to hear, various kind of jet fighters, bombers, weapons, but these are specifically given to the military according to the reports we're gathering.
That's the point we're making. It's not different from what I've said. You need to pump enough money to the system. If you want results, you need to invest. You cannot sleep and then overnight and then you expect to have results. It's not done, except this part of the world where people are lazy and then they want to make money from Yahoo overnight.
So how can it be done right now? Because of the sharing formula?
We are now recommending for the government, because I'm not part and parcel of the system. I can only carry this message and convey it. And we're now saying, oh, you need to apportion more money to the system so that you can see productivity, so that it will not bounce on you and I. Otherwise, if no money is pumped to that industry, you are going to see a situation that you and I will pay dearly for it. How? Like I gave example, you'll be the one that, if you go to most of the police stations, you see that a particular project is branded in the name of Rotary, in the name of one particular company. You see that those people that is a joint partnership to support. You see a kind of boss that is branded in the name of a particular estate in support of the Nigerian police force. It's because the government have failed. People are now waking up, you and I, when people are now waking up. People now have to support the system. You buy them their basic amenities. I've seen where people even supply them tissue paper. People have to supply them A4 papers and all those things. A client of mine, and then when he went there, no A4 paper. He has to order for 4 for them instantly.
For the police?
Yes.
So that's the question. I have asked this question before. Probably I should, change the way I'm going to ask you. The question now is, do you think the Nigerian government is not funding the police, or there's just this major corruption in the police force?
It's two-way traffic.
I don't want to believe that the Nigerian government is not funding the Nigerian
police force
at all. It's not possible.
It's funding them in the Nigerian police. But however, it's not funding them enough. That's number one. And then number two, the second aspect of it is that the system is corrupt. It's corrupt. Corruption is in the system. And people just key in. I give a practical example now, where somebody who is not cooperating with them, they have to gang up, and then the person is is now transferred to another relegated
you
unit.
have been hammering on this corruption in the Nigeria Police Force.
Yes.
How will it be cleansed up? What advice will you give to the federal government to be able to cleanse this corruption in the Nigeria Police Force?
Put more money in the system.
Put more money in the system, the money will also be taken away.
When you invest, you have to monitor your investment, except that the government is not serious because the system is equally benefiting from that failure. Anytime, is it Sani Abacha, one of the presidents of the West African country, said anytime you see an insurgency exceed 24 hours, it therefore presupposes that your government is aware of it. Anytime you see all those bomb blasts in the north, some people are benefiting from it. How? Some people benefit from it in such a way that they have to connive with it. They have to, connive with international community. Some of them do not. They just have to seek for sponsors that they are going to help the victims of this and that. NGOs spark up, and then they will benefit as a result of, all in the name of supporting the victims. So people are benefiting from the system. That's why we cannot get it right. One, change of mindset. Because look at whether we like it or not, we don't have any modus operandi or any procedure to enforce all these illegalities against our leaders. Because assuming you go to court, they will still defeat you because the system is corrupt.
Okay, all right. Well, finally, before we call it a wrap on this discussion, one did you use that if the military are taking off checkpoints, allow the police to come back to do their job, that will give the police meaning, at least to have evidence that they or to what else to do. Because what Buratai said, you are giving the military police personnel job, you are making their work tedious, they are stressed too thin. So bringing them back and pushing the military back to where they ought to be, do you think this will create this balance between these two security agents?
I'm not in support of retiring back the army, the military from the roadblock, because as it is right now, there's even a lot of security outfits on the road, and we see experienced bandits on a daily basis. So on what basis are you going to withdraw the army? I'm not in support.
In one word, do you think they could work together peacefully?
Yes, I have the belief that the Nigerian police force and the Nigerian army can work together peacefully. But however, the Nigerian police, their corruption attitude will not make them to want to work with the Nigerian army. That's my take.
All right, thank you so much, Atta, for your wonderful analysis. And I believe that our viewers, they've heard your own point. Maybe, just maybe, things will be done differently this time around to see how they can really make the Nigerian police force more vibrant in executing their duties in terms of taking care of lives and properties. But we'll hand over to our Benin Network Center for the news, after which TMI Social with our new more statements will definitely come up. Thank you for watching.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking about. That's what I said. So when they bullied her, now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married.
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them or are dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
It's not healthy.
A beautiful morning to you, and thanks for joining us on ITV News for this time. I am Harry Igboje. Friends, relatives, and members of the Benin Recreation Club have bid farewell to the outgoing president of the club, Mr. Courage Osamoye Osayi, for attracting modern developments to the club with his transformative agenda. He said since he took over as the president of the club, he and his executive brought innovative change to the club, which prompted them to organize the President Valedictory Sports Festival in his honor. Efosa Wangwe reports.
Commenting on what motivated him and his executive to embark on the developmental strides, Mr. Osamoye Osayi said what they have done is to lay the foundation of the club for the future so that the incoming executive will have a template to follow. The vice captain, table tennis, indoor section, Austin Ogbowan, praised President Courage Osayi for the infrastructure and discipline that he and his executive have brought into the club.
Looking at where we are coming from and where we are today, I know quite well we've gone far.
He has done tremendously well in terms of infrastructure, in terms of discipline to the club.
Captain of volleyball, basketball, and badminton section, Dr. Bala Anegbe said the section he is overseeing in Benin Recreation Center was established by President Osayi, whom they are celebrating. The captain-elect of tennis section, Nosa Odia, thanks President Osayi for the major achievements he and his executive have done in the club. Captain-elect of football and swimming pool section, Mr. Matthew, said the President's Validated Sport Festival was organized to bring unity back to the club.
As a matter of fact, he put everything in place. So it's just for me as a captain to keep maintaining the place.
We want everybody to take away disunity and bring unity back to the club.
The event is not just about sports. It is about gratitude.
There was an award and presentation ceremony during which those who participated in various games that emerged winner, first, second, and third were presented gold, silver, and bronze medals. In addition, cash prize were also presented to the first position of table tennis winner. The President's Valedictory Sports Festival featured table tennis, volleyball, board and card games, pool, snooker, billiards, and bus stop games, among others. From Benin, Efosa Wangwe, ITV News.
The 6th edition of the Edo Mega Show lit up Benin City as artists, music lovers, and cultural enthusiasts converged for an evening of music, entertainment, and celebration. Hosted by the Chief Executive Officer of Music and Me Entertainment, Prince Charles Osadolo, the event continues to provide a platform for promoting musical talents, encouraging creativity, and preserving Edo State's rich cultural heritage. Ofuri Aneto has details.
The musical concert tagged Edo Mega Show attracted friends, guests, and music enthusiasts from within and outside Edo State. In his opening performance, the host and initiator of Music and Me Entertainment, Prince Charles Osadolo, thrilled the audience with captivating musical renditions as other established artists took turns entertaining guests with energetic and engaging performances. Highlights of the event included the presentation of an Excellence Award to Lucky Boogie as Best Drummer, while members of the eligible Club of Madrid presented a portrait of recognition to Prince Charles Osadolo in appreciation of his contributions to music development. Speaking at the event, guests, including the host and initiator of the Edo Mega Show, explained that the project is an annual initiative aimed at promoting talent, encouraging creativity, and preserving cultural heritage, with musical performances and an album launch forming part of the program.
Music can be just like a foundation, helping the younger ones and the older ones in entertainment in Edo State. So Edo Mega Show is an event we are doing every year.
I wish him well today for his music career, and whatever he seeks, he shall find in the name of Jesus.
I don't really base here. I'm in United States, New York City, and I'm here today to support him, and I love music.
Benin music is already all over the world, so it's a continuation of that trend that we are doing today.
By the grace of God, Prince Charles Usadolo is also a man of God, and he has brought impact to the youth of Edo State.
From Benin, Ofuri and Neto, ITV News.
And Chairman, Nigeria Union of Journalists, Edo State Council, Comrade Festus Alenke, has secured the release of 3 inmates from Oko Correctional Service, Benin City, after paying fines for the offenses for which they were convicted. Efosa Wangwe reports.
Those that regained freedom are Gospel Nathaniel from Nasarawa State, Francis Joshua from Ebonyi State, and Ikechukwu Udu from Imo State. They were arrested, investigated, and charged to court for various criminal offenses. The court, however, found them guilty of the various charges and sentenced them to different jail terms ranging from 6 months to 1 year, but with option of fine. Their inability to pay the fines made them to continue with the prison terms. Succor, however, came their way as the chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists Edo State Council, Comrade Festus Alenke, in the spirit of the new year, decided to pay the fines of some inmates at the Oko Correctional Center to effect their release. The approach led to the recommendation of 3 inmates by the authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service Edo State Command. The fines were paid into Edo State government coffers while the 3 inmates were released. The beneficiaries thanked Comrade Festus Alenke for the gesture.
We should use this opportunity to say I don't know there are good people and few government we have like this in this country. God will continue to bless this country. Thank you. Don't learn from what you are saying.
Responding, Comrade Alenke said his gesture was born out of love for humanity. He said the 3 beneficiaries are not from Edo State, saying Nigeria is one.
These 3 persons are just like a pilot support from me. Committed various offenses and they were sentenced to various jail terms, and then to also pay option of fine, but they couldn't hardly afford the option of fine I was giving to them. So this I've just done. I paid it to government coffer and got them released. So next is going to be getting to the hospital where we can look for indigent people who have been discharged from the hospital but unable to pay the hospital bill.
The 3 persons were also given cash to return to their various states. From Benin, Fosa Wangwe, ITV News.
And still on the AM News, Edo State Ministry of Education has announced the postponement of public and private schools resumption across Edo Central Senatorial District till further notice. In a statement signed by the Commissioner of Education, Dr. Emmanuel Padiyamu, says the postponement is to enable the ministry address some exigencies to improve the welfare of children before a new date will be communicated. Edo Central correspondent Chris Omeje, who monitored the level of compliance, reports that schools visited across the district complied with the directive.
Though the directive by Edo State Ministry of Education on the postponement of school resumption across Edo Central Senatorial District came late to some schools visited complied with the directive. One of the principals of the private school said, even though some parents had already dropped their children in school before the information was received, children whose parents could not be contacted were kept in school for safety till their parents picked them up.
The information came in very late, and already students were already in schools, and because of their safety, a lot of parents have gone to their workplaces, so we have to keep them back pending the time in which parents will pick their children. So in order not to make the school environment rowdy, we've kept the children in the class. Then some parents that we were able to reach also came back to pick their children.
The Chief Inspector of Education, Hesan West Local Government Area, Mrs. Mebe Okilu, said all schools across the local government area have complied with the directive, awaiting the new resumption date.
We received a directive from our Honorable Commissioner early hours of this morning, and we sent it out. On our part, we went around schools in East and West to ensure compliance to the directive. Both private and public complied in East and West.
From Edo Central Senatorial District, Chris Omije, ITV News.
And that does it on ITV News for this time. Thanks so much for watching. I am Harry Igboje. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
ITV, certainly the best.
Good morning and welcome. This is TMI Socials. I am Chukufum Nanya Digwe, and here's what's making waves across the social media space. Now, for the first story, it happens to be a follow-up of another story we did yesterday, as the Benin court remands 52 Ekpoma protest suspects amid kidnapping fears last Saturday. Now, frustrated residents and Ambrosali University students in Ekpoma rallied after kidnappers killed a young man, but the protests turned violent with looted shops, burnt tires, and vandalism at the Onoje's Palace. Police arrested 52 suspects early Sunday, charging them with malicious damage and armed robbery. A Benin High Court remanded them to Ubiaja Correctional Center pending trial on February 26. Now, some families insist their loved ones were innocent and asleep, while students, groups, and the PDP demand release as the governor vows stronger action against kidnappers. Now, as you see, a footage on the screen that shows some of these remanded protest suspects. Let's get to see the video and then we'll take reactions.
For what they know nothing about. Sir, we did not participate in that protest. The people that participated in that protest, they are in their houses. They are walking freely on the streets and nothing happened to them. Sir, we are begging you. We are being punished for what we know nothing about. Sir, we are your children. We are your children, sir. Please, have mercy on us. Even if at all we even offended you, at least a father must have mercy for his child. We are all your children. Have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. Nobody can deny what we are seeing this government doing in Edo State. Therefore, we will not.
Well, there you have it, the video that's been circulating around the social media space. Now let's get to see how the social media space is reacting. This commenter says, "Good day. This is to raise alarm on the authoritarian terrorist government of Nigeria and its dehumanization of young people. These are university students in Edo who protested against kidnapping in the States. Please lend your voice. Let the world see this evil." Let's see the next comments now. This netizen says, "We must not allow sentiment to cloud our judgment. Public peace and order must be maintained at all costs to create an enabling environment for the security forces to flush out the kidnappers." On to the next comment. This netizen says, "The strategy is direct and aimed at making sure the youth lose all hope for a better future to further oppress them and ensure bad governance continues to suffice. It's nothing but a psychological means of controlling the population." Let's move on to the next comment. This one says, "It is practically obvious that this said administration hates being asked to be accountable. It's quite pitiful that these young men, whom are supposed leaders of tomorrow, are having their dreams tarnished. What a country." Let's move on to another comment now. This commenter goes on to say, "This is a chilling abuse of power. When young people are brutalized and imprisoned for demanding prosecution from kidnappers, the state reveals who it truly fears. Not criminals, but citizens with voices. A government that criminalizes protests while failing to secure lives has abandoned its moral and constitutional duty. Silence only normalizes this cruelty. Speaking up is not optional." Now for the final comments. The final comment says, "Students are treated this way for protesting, but Katsina government wants to release repentant bandits who took lives and destabilized the region with kidnappings, killings, raping, and repeated terror. LOL, LOL, LOL." Now, let's move on to the next story, which happens to be about the case with the EFCC and Yahaya Bello. Now, the EFCC chairman in an interview defends Yahaya Bello's prosecution amid court delays. Olukoyede detailed 3 active cases against former Kogi governor Yahaya Bello, including charges of 80.2 billion naira fraud, 110 billion naira property scams, and diverting $720,000 from state funds for his child's school fees. Now, Bello surrendered in November 2024 after being declared wanted, but remains in Kuje prison as court in Abuja deliberates without a conviction yet. He reaffirmed his April 2024 pledge to oversee the probe personally, while public reaction split between criticism of slow, elite prosecutions and support for the legal process's complexities. Now, this is what the EFCC chairman has said, that Yahaya Bello is being remanded and also in court over the issue. Let's get to see his comments and then we'll take reactions.
Of Kogi, so you said you will rather step out of this office if you don't see this through. Are you still on that agenda of ensuring that is either you leave this office or not seeing this through?
So have I not made good that promise of commitment? No, I'm asking you. Is Yahaya not being prosecuted?
But there are those,
about 3 cases.
There are those who are unhappy in the handling, and they are even asking you to recuse yourself or to step down from their office.
In handling of what?
Of Yahaya Bello's matter.
How do I handle Yahaya Bello's matter? Am I the judge? I have 3 cases against Yahaya Bello. Am I the judge that will determine the conviction? No, I'm asking you, Cheo. I've done my work. I've fulfilled my mandate, and Nigerians must know that, and they must also encourage us in doing more. This man has been investigated. He has 5 charges against him, and the matter is getting traction. You just follow up this case. In Nigeria, some of us are lazy.
Because of the drama. The drama that happened in...
Forget about drama. Forget about drama. It's not about drama. It's about the fact that his man facing prosecution.
Now, that is the video follow-up on that story. Let's get to see what the social media space is saying. This commenter says, you hold the FCC, they shift the blame to the judiciary, then you hold the judiciary, and they tell you that the prosecutor failed to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, that they did a bad job at prosecution. It comes back to the FCC, and the cycle continues. Let's see another comment now. The next comment says, the judiciary is another evil that Nigerians are not talking about. A magistrate remanded 53 students for protesting insecurity, but will grant politicians with corruption charges that caused the insecurity bill before stepping into the courtroom. Let's see another comment. This comment says, always talking and ranting and getting angry whenever the basics of their job is being demanded, as if Nigerians are stupid. Are we not Nigerians in Nigeria? Don't we know what's going on? Why all these rantings? Is that how Yahoo boys are being treated? Now you have to be civil. Well, those are the comments as regards that story. Now let's move on to our final story today on TMI Socials. Now it's as Kano Commissioner gives bicycles to junior staff amid fuel crisis. Now, the Kano State's Commissioner for Investments, Gwani Shehu Wada Sagagi, handed out 10 bicycles to junior staff this week, paying for them himself to ease travel burdens from high fuel prices. Now, as you know, the social media space is not taking this easy. A lot of people saying, bicycles, really? Let's get to see how they're reacting. Let's see the comments now on this story. The first commenter says, did you want him to give them bikes? What will they use to fuel them? Their salaries? You guys can appreciate little efforts made. Just look at your statements, junior workers, or should he give them cars? Well, this is one commenter. Let's see another one now. This next comment says, I think he intends to encourage the physical health of his team. That said, I'm sure bicycles may be a widely used means of transportation in that region. Bicycles are very fashionable amongst public servants in Europe. To encourage that culture in Kano deserves an applause. The final comments now. It says, if after 1 year in office, the biggest achievement is sharing 10 bicycles, then the office has failed its mandate. Investment and commerce are about economic growth, not token gifts. Now, those are the comments that have, been elicited from the Kano State Commissioner giving bicycles to his junior staff. And here's where we draw the curtain on TMI Socials today. Thank you so so much for watching. I'll now hand you back over to Lawrence Osifo for the finalization of TMI Socials.
You read some of these stories that is trendy without laughing while maintaining your steez. A commissioner distributing what? Bicycles in the 21st century?
You saw some of the comments. Some people saying maybe it's a widely used means of transportation there.
Nigeria is one of the best places to live in. Then let's talk about the Yahaya Bello before we go. I remember Allah Olukoyede telling us that if he does not see the prosecution of Yahaya Bello, he will not resign. The same Allah Olukoyede is telling us the court is the problem. All right, no problem. We look forward to seeing the end of all of this hula baloo, higgy haga, back and forth. That's the size of our package on the show TMI this beautiful morning on the ITV network. On behalf of my colleagues in Lagos and in Abuja, we'll see you again on the next one, God willing. I am Lawrence Osifo. Bye for now.